I haven't played MindsEye, but I've seen Tenet. Now, I will most likely play MindsEye at launch for content, but that's most definitely through FitGirl repacks. And yes, we shouldn't judge the gameplay of this game until it actually does come out. Presumably at launch, we can see reviewers giving their thoughts, or somebody on Twitter can get the game a week early and give his opinion, which I'll share later in this video. Now the gameplay of MindsEye from the trailers actually looks fine to me, and it reminds me of a third-person shooter that I would play off Xbox Game Pass, which is completely fine. But the most worrying thing about MindsEye isn't if it's going to be a good game, but if it's actually going to be a polished launch, and if it's actually going to have good optimization and no bugs, which from the red flags, it's honestly kinda a bit concerning. Which is why I think the idea of pre-ordering this game specifically is still pretty goddamn stupid. A reminder of the terrible marketing and them showing gameplay only a month before release, which was through a sponsored Twitch streamer. The preview events of the devs showing complete raw gameplay, which were said to be really buggy and poorly optimized.
There were even names missing in subtitles. It would just say like none. I thought that was weird. There were enemies spawning in front of you. At one point, this happened just one time, to be fair. And there was another point where I saw in that same mission, enemies were like crouched behind cover and just shooting into cover.
The two people working on the game quitting only about a week before launch. The game weirdly having a creator program even though it's a single player game, where you make videos on MindsEye just completely gassing the game up, just so you can get some benefits, which if these benefits were sexual, I would probably join the creator program. So judging from all of this stuff, which are things that you mostly judge to pre-order a game, it's probably a really bad idea to pre-order this game, unless you're a content creator wanting to farm ad revenue, which I know I am, at least until reviews come out, or watch genuine gameplay from other creators before making a conclusion for yourself. Now, I've seen a lot of comments defending MindsEye saying people need to wait until release to make conclusions, which with the gameplay of the game, I do agree, but you definitely can make conclusions on whether or not this game is going to be polished on release through the previews, marketing, suspicious information of revolving around the game, which is just so weird, and not the game itself. The previews are enough for people to create their own thoughts, and this should be pretty obvious, but you shouldn't spend $60 to see if you like a game when you've already bought it and spent your money so you can't get it back. Sure, you can refund games if they're buggy with like under 2 hours of playtime on Xbox, I think, and most definitely Steam, but from experience you can't do that with PlayStation. So you really can't try out the game for yourself if you're planning to refund it after like 2 hours of trying it out. With PlayStation, if you launch or preload a game, you can't cancel the pre-order or refund the game you bought. Now there's also been some people that actually got the game early, and I thought I would show their thoughts, as some people actually believe that the previews, which were negatively received by creators, aren't genuine. So you can see this post about this guy getting the game early with a photo attached, and this was his thoughts on the game.
So first of all, keep in mind that there is no day 1 patch available right now. Secondly, I am not impressed at all. The technical aspect of the current build in the disc is almost the same as it was when Mass Effect Andromeda released.
Which, if you know, Mass Effect Andromeda back in 2017 had a pretty bad launch, and he's basically saying that MindsEye is in a similar state to that.
There is a lot of loads, and the FPS drops happen often. I don't really know how much, but it's significant enough to see it and feel it. They do exist in the cutscenes too. There is a flickering on the screen noticeable while moving the right stick around. The graphics look washy. Sometimes it's totally bluey and you're not able to see what it should simulate at all. I don't know if it's just simple port which didn't get enough to be polished, but right now the build needs love.
By the way, he's playing on PlayStation 5, which that is pretty worrying, since even with console optimization, this game still struggled.
Like mentioned before, you will encounter significant FPS drops, which this truly kills the gameplay for me. The shooting feels empty, almost like it doesn't give you feedback. I haven't played all the missions yet, but I encountered a bug which doesn't let me go further in the story, so I'm stuck and will post update later.
Okay, so while editing this video, he has deleted some of the replies, which is why you can see the jump from 2/8 to 6/8, as he's also tweeted more about the game.
While I was able to drive around with car, it felt like I was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands / Breakpoint, which was terrible. The mechanics felt like it's half-baked, and I forgot to give fine-tuning. Maybe day 1 patch will change next week. I've encountered big amount of bugs from cutscenes in which the hair of protagonist will glitch around. Bugs which cause you not to get further in story mission at all. and I'm just beating a game at the old, so in total unplayable. Final thoughts. First of all, I want to make clear I don't want to spread hate against Bob, but, and there is always a but, the current build which they printed on this is technical mess. I really want to tell you something positive about it, but I don't can. I don't really know if they on patch which Bob mentioned will fix all of those problems, and if they are just noticeable at the console's ports, but I do not recommend buying it right now. Save your money until they saw news that they shown us that they've truly fixed it. I will give it a new try next week when the Day 1 patch arrived and tell you if they truly fixed it or just bluffed. It's not really looking good, eh? So it seems to be pretty buggy, and the optimization for consoles seems pretty bad, which makes me incredibly worried for the PC release. Now, the devs did a statement saying that a Day 1 patch will be on release, which will fix a lot of the stuff. But a Day 1 patch could only do so much. For example, Cyberpunk 2077 had a Day 1 patch, and it was pretty buggy, and I think that would even be a bit of an understatement. Day 1 patches fix bugs and can improve optimization, but they can only do so much. And also, apparently consoles aren't going to have a performance mode. So, yeah. I guess MindsEye is going to be added to the small list of games that don't have a performance mode. Now, I want to talk about Leslie Benzies. I think some people think that since he's working on this game, it's going to be good, but a guy who worked on GTA, being the main dev for this game, doesn't really even matter if you think about it. When this game was announced, I actually was pretty hyped that Leslie Benzies was working on it. But I then realized that the last time Leslie Benzies worked on a game, or a good game, was 2013, 12 years ago. Now I have to say this, just because somebody helped make something good more than a decade ago, doesn't mean they can make another thing with the same quality. Look at Ridley Scott, he made Alien, but most of his movies are mid now. Just because Leslie Benzies made this game doesn't mean it will be 100% good. When the game releases, we'll see if it's actually good. So I'm telling you, please do not pre-order this game until reviews. But it is your money, so but just believe me on this, I pre-ordered so many games that turned out to be really buggy on launch, and even though I could deal with bugs, it was still an inconvenient experience for me. MindsEye looks like it's going to be a fine 6 out of 10 game, but if it does have a buggy launch, that can turn a 6 out of 10 game to a 4 out of 10. Now, it's very possible that MindsEye will be buggy at launch, but what is almost definitive is that this game is 100% going to be unoptimized, judging from the spec requirements being completely ridiculous, and claims of the performance on PS5 being bad even with console optimization. You should be very cautious. It's possible reviews can drop before release, so take that into account, and I'm probably going to buy Mafia the Old Country instead of this game, since it's the same price as MindsEye, and Mafia also has anti-pirating measures, so I can pirate MindsEye, but I can't pirate Mafia the Old Country, which sucks, but it's been Trojan. Like and subscribe. Thank you for the ad revenue. Goodbye.